It's Maria Konrad, and I am back on behalf of Só Dança and Barre Talk, and I am so excited to be here with the beautiful Adji for part 2. Yes, she's joining us from Canada, but hopefully she'll be going home to dance soon in San Francisco. Yes, very, very, very. Okay, we're going to dive right in. Are you ready?
Yes.
What do you love most about ballet?
I mean, it's a hard question because I feel like there's a lot of aspects, but what I like is that I feel like I get to show what's going on inside of me sometimes, where it's like, I don't have the words to express them. Let me use my body and like let something out that sometimes I don't even, like, I'm not always aware of what I'm feeling inside or what I want to express. And especially now with lines where I'm fine-tuning my listening, like things are coming out that I'm like, oh wow, yeah, that is part of me, but I just ignored it. Yeah.
It's a little bit like therapy, right? Like,
absolutely.
You know, like those days when you walk into the studio and you're like, I don't want to be here. And at the end of the day, you're like, I don't want to leave here.
Yeah.
You know, I think especially now dancers are craving that time. Have you been dancing in quarantine?
Yeah, I've been dancing in my living room. At first just holding on to a chair and then fixing up a bar. So it's very different. But I do have to say it helped me to be even more grateful for literally sometimes I'm like just doing pliés and I'm like, oh, I'm back home. Like it's just like that grounding feeling, that getting back with your body, listening, communicating. So I'm grateful for that part, but yeah, it is at home.
Have you been able to get into a studio at all?
No.
They haven't opened.
Yeah.
They're smart. They got it going on. Okay, so you've obviously had a long career and a diverse career. How many years now have you been a professional dancer?
Like 10.
Oh my gosh. Okay, and so what do you think dancers have to possess a long career, to have a long career?
I think they have to be disciplined. I think it is important, but also they have to have that certain trust in themselves, because there's a lot of negative talk. There's a lot of corrections and improve that and do that better. And this is not good, where it's not as much focus on, oh, this was nice, or this was lovely. And it doesn't come from a bad place, because people are usually just wanting you to grow and grow and grow. But if you don't have that trust in yourself that you are good and that you are worth it and all of these things, then I think a lot of people quit, or they lose their passion, or they just get out of touch with it. So I think that's really important, that trust, and kind of reminding yourself of why you're doing it, like what's important to you about dance.
I think what you're saying is so valuable. And I think that what I see the most with dancers is that they're so disciplined on the outward, but the least disciplined muscle in their mind is their mind. You know, that's the muscle that we have to really, our hearts will always be what they're going to be immediately. But that mind needs to be the most disciplined muscle in your body.
Yeah, and you have to train it. I mean, Alonso always says, like, and I now tell my students when I teach, it's like, don't let go. Don't even if you bring your leg down, often we just drop out. Like we kind of give up mentally. And that mental like commitment and that mental follow through and that mental awareness, that takes training, because our brain gets exhausted. Our mind gets exhausted. So we have to constantly stay inside, stay with it.
Yes. Okay, so who was your most influential teacher? I know we have so many. We have so many that get us to where we need to be.
Yeah, we do. And honestly, I have to say that I felt the biggest like breakthrough once I joined Line. So I have to say Alonso. And I name him because, I mean, I feel bad. I have so many great teachers and they all played a role. But I name him because I think he got the most out of me personally, where it's not just dance focused, but me as a human. So I grew a lot as a human being, which then translated to dance. Right. And that's the way I want to go. That's the way I want to grow, right? So I'm thankful for that. Yeah.
I love that. Okay. Aside from dance, do you have any other passions?
Yeah, and I think it's super important to have other passions. If you don't, like, look for one.
Yes, pretend.
Yeah. I recently started health life coaching. I started a course like a while back, and then just when quarantine started was also for me the start to have clients, and working with them has just been so fulfilling. I knew I liked it and I knew this was something for me, but then now working with people and clients really showed me how much that gives me back. So it's definitely a passion and something I want to continue.
So how do young dancers or people get a hold of you for that, like for a consultation?
Yeah, it's honestly super easy. People have written me on Instagram. It's fine. You can email me, you can or even write me on social media if you don't have my email address, even though it is listed. So it's contact me. It's not a big process where you have to sign up online, because I want people to also be like, so what's this all about? Like, you don't want to commit to something, you want to just maybe find out more, and that's what it's all about. Yeah.
Okay, so you don't have to name anybody from your generation. Mm-hmm. But who were some of your favorite dancers you grew up watching and why?
Yeah, so I grew up watching a lot of Munich, the state opera there, Bayerisches Staatsballett. And Lucia Lacara was one of the principal dancers when I grew up. And so me and everybody else, we were just always like in the wings, like, oh, like beautiful, just like that elegance and that commitment and just everything. And I remember sometimes the company would ask if they can borrow some people from the school to help out with productions. So I was doing Raimonda, and so we got our little outfits, and we were on stage doing a little circle dance, like small things, or like a Midsummer Night's Dream. And every time I was in that whole building and seeing dancers, it wasn't just her, it was literally everybody I passed. Like I was just mesmerized because I knew how they transformed on stage. And it was really interesting to me because even one of my teachers, I grew up watching him on stage, and then he transformed and he became my teacher later at the school. And I was like, wow, like I've admired you. And then here you are teaching me. So
yeah. Oh my gosh, that's amazing. No. To be able to grow up in that type of environment is just, it's so good. Okay. What are some of the positives about the ballet world, and what are some of the negatives that you would like to see change?
I think something that's positive, and that I just even lately realized again, is we are connected. So now, especially during this time, people are offering classes all over, and you get to chat. And every time I travel, I meet people from different companies, and we become friends, and I know I can contact them if I'm ever around. So I really, really appreciate, and I love that sense of family. And then again, especially if I just look at Lines, we are only 12 people, and it is my closest family around, where I feel so safe and protected and like able to explore. Because if you want to explore and try new things, you have to be vulnerable, so you have to feel safe. So safety in that environment is like key. So I think that's definitely something positive. I think negative, especially with some big companies, is that competition feeling. And even if it's not right, like outspoken, it sometimes goes on behind your backs. And I never let that get to me too much, to be honest. And maybe I got lucky, or maybe I was just oblivious. I don't really know, but I don't care. That's the thing. I feel like I was just doing my thing without worrying about all this jitter around. And I think what I would love to see is just even simple things like, why do I have to spray my pointe shoes brown all the time? Or why does it take me so much longer than my friend who's just, getting her pair of pointe shoes that's pink, or basically her skin color? She does a little bit of thing and she's ready to go. And I'm there painting and spraying. And so those kind of things, like, I would love to see change, and they are already, which I'm appreciative of.
Dancer has a full line.
And it's just super helpful, and you feel like more included. And I think there's a lot of talk right now. How do we get people of color feel more included in dance? And my path has been very positive. I've never felt like I haven't felt that discrimination, but I'm sure it exists, and I know that it exists because I have people that have felt it. And so that's what we want to get rid of. Let's get rid of it. Because even like if I think about my own, like people would tell me when I audition, oh, that's going to be hard for you because first of all, you're tall and then you're black. So that's going to be really hard for you to get a job. And even though I did not believe it, hearing that put something in yourself where you're like, oh, maybe it's going to be harder, and it shouldn't be. Like those people shouldn't even have to worry about that. That shouldn't be in their head so that it doesn't come into my head. So that's something that we want to definitely work on.
No, I think that those are excellent choices. And I think that the dance world is changing, and I think it's changing for the better. And I think with more positive spirits, the way that you are, I am being an advocate for that, and a very positive an advocate for people. I think that that's a really important thing. So thank you for that.
Absolutely.
Okay. What is one of your favorite places to travel besides Italy, and the name of your cat?
Which, that's one of them.
Okay.
My absolute favorite is Senegal. Absolute favorite. I wasn't born there, but every time I go visit, there's this like sense of, oh, I belong, like it's home. It's, I resonate with that pure love, like that open heart, and people have almost nothing. They live very poor and back to minimals. Like when I go there, usually there's no running water, so I go downstairs, get the bucket, put it over. So it's very much like, but it doesn't matter. I'm the happiest when I am there, and I am a very happy person. But there's something so like honest and truthful, and being embraced by family and just outside people by me just visiting, that just shows that they are open-hearted. Yeah,
I love that. So good. It's so important to travel. And if I could say to young dancers, the more international programs you can go to, or stages or festivals, like it just changes who you are,
Yeah. And if you do travel, I would say don't just travel and then stick around in, maybe your dance festival or whatever, but actually try to go sightseeing, go around, maybe meet some new people that live there, because that's when you get the best experience. I love learning even little bits of languages when I travel, or speak the ones that I know and just have to practice.
Adji, how many languages do you speak?
So I speak German, which is my first language. And then French used to come right second, because my dad speaks it, my mom speaks it, in Senegal they speak it, and I felt really comfortable speaking it. But then English came and just took over my life. So now it's, I would say, German, English, French, and then I also learned Spanish, which I used to be fluent in, but I think it's a little bit rusty right now. And then I do understand Wolof, which is the language spoken in Senegal. So yeah, still have to learn more, but yeah.
So amazing. Okay. Can you believe it? This is the end. This is our last question. So crazy. I know. Okay. So if you could give one piece of advice to young dancers, what would it be?
I would say, I think for me especially, and that's why I want to pass it on, is that discovery of you. Like, don't ever give up working on yourself. And sometimes we think, oh, we are injured, or oh, we are stuck home, and it's just like we have to put our life on pause. But it's not true, because we can do so much work, and work that doesn't even mean do a plie and a tendu, but learn something. See a life coach, work on yourself, your ideas, your habits, your approaches to things, because all of that work will translate then into your dance. Like that, maybe you gain generosity, you can share that. Maybe you even think about let's say you're struggling with arabesque and you always have thought about arabesque in a certain way. But what if you step away, do all that work on yourself, and then you come back and you think about arabesque as a complete new thing where it's like, oh, I feel like a lengthening, I'm becoming something. And then maybe it goes higher and you're not even like stressing about it anymore. It's like that little switch in your head sometimes just has to happen. It only happens when you work on yourself and you go inside and not thinking, oh, I have to perform, or I have to show. It's like, I don't even tell myself I'm performing. I'm telling myself I'm stepping on stage and I'm sharing. So it's from the inside, right? Like instead of just being like, look at what I can do. It's like, okay, let me see what I'm sharing, which world I'm stepping into. And everybody has that, but sometimes we ignore it. So it's just a reminder to go inwards, and any work you do on yourself will be beneficial. There's no separation from human being to dancer being. It's all the same. You're you, right?
Yes. Yes. It's actually better. You know, it's actually better. And I think that's the one gift that quarantine has given us as dancers is, one, we spend so much time away from our families, and it's allowing us to be grounded and with our families, and the value of that. And it's also giving us the idea to focus in on the thing we do love to do, find new creative ways. That's how I came up with this with Barre Talk, because I was like, I miss dancers. I can't be in the studio. How am I going to do this, you know? And I think it's also teaching us the value of doing nothing.
Oh, yeah. And it's important because we're so like, we're running around, we're so stressed, and then we have nothing to do and we almost freak out. But it's like, wait a second. There's some power in that. Yeah.
No, so I think it's so great. Thank you so much. I just want to talk to you forever. I hope that I get to see you in person someday in San Francisco or Toronto or in Senegal, because now I'm going to book a ticket as soon as I can. But sending so much love. Thank you so much for being with us on Women Crush Wednesday here with Só Dança and Barre Talk. And don't forget, ladies, you can get your point shoes, all different shades underneath the rainbow with Só Dança.
Thank you so much.
We're going to dance out, Adji. You ready?
All right. Okay.
Oh, he gave us York. Yes, we're good. Okay, so good.